Alright, this is part 3. I suggest you go to part 1 and 2 to get the full extent of what I'm saying in this video. Basically, I'm proud to be an indigenous American man, and I'm representing my nationality by claiming to be Hebrew, and then some people say that's Hebrew Israelite according to the scriptures by bloodline, the people of the scriptures, and also Moor, M-U-U-R, indigenous to this land as well, and the Washita people of the land, because according to the rights of the American rights of indigenous people, it basically states that you have the right to claim more than one nationality, and I claim what I've spoken because we're basically what I consider the same people. And for the record, that does not mean that I'm against you any more than if a man who's Italian says he's an Italian. I don't take that to mean he's against me. He's just saying who he is. And that's the way I'm seeing it. You shouldn't take that to mean that just because I claim to be something and I am that, you can't use that against me and say, well, you're anti this. I'm not anti anything. I don't get mad when a European says he's a European. That's what he is. He's not lying. When an Italian man probably says I'm an Italian and this is what I do, I'm not mad at him. That's who he is. So why should you be mad at me when I said I'm Hebrew, Moor, the Washita people of indigenous to this land? That's who I am. Even the definition of American 1828 says it. Then if you want to go even further, go to the etymology dictionary online and you put in America and Amer'ican and see what it tells you. I didn't write any of these things. Everything I'm telling you right now, I didn't write none of this stuff. I'm just using it as evidence. Now, I'll continue. This is the Vatican's letter to Barack Obama, because actually the Vatican owns the corporations, and their representative is their Pope Francis. So basically this is the Vatican saying these things. The people behind Pope Francis. Because he had to get approval, I believe, to... That's usually how stuff works. So I'm just assuming he had to get approval from the Vatican, the people behind him, to make this statement for it to be out here. So that's what I'm going to say. It says all legal fictions, entities, however structured and named, this is that letter from the Vatican, Pope Francis, to Barack Obama in 2014. All legal fiction entities, however structured and named after the American states and American state citizens, have returned to them and their control, free and clear of any debt. See, and like I said in the previous video, all debt belongs to the United States company, and then he's saying the same thing. And all these legal fictions have been returned to the de jure people of the land, free and clear of any debt, promise, incumbrance, or obligation alleged against them as a result of false claims made in their behalf by the officers of the United States of America, Inc., and the United States, Inc., or by any foreign officials operating the United States of America minor, or the United Nations city-states, falsely claiming to represent them or have a jurisdiction over them. See, everything under the United States, Inc., nothing under the United States, Inc. has jurisdiction over me and you, if you're indigenous to this land. We note that the current circumstances is in part of the result of criminal acts engaged in 150 years ago, which resulted in the commercial enslavement of African Americans who were summarily claimed as chattels backing U.S. government debt in the wake of the Civil War. And see, that also, like I said, goes back to the U.S. Article 6, which states all debt belongs to the United States company, and we do not have to pledge allegiance for those services to a corporation. We are de jure Americans. peaceful inhabitants of this land. Despite every act of abolition and declaration of prohibition against both peonage and slavery, it has been the policy of the U.S. government, U.S. Inc., to enslave its citizens to operate as rogue state among the nations of the world. Instead of freeing the so-called African Americans, the sum total result of the Civil War was to vastly expand public sector ownership of slaves, giving rise to the outrages and improper claims that have been made against the American state and American state citizens that we are dealing with today. It is uniquely fitting that the Grand Army of the Republic is recalled to settle this circumstance in favor of the people. All right. Looking for them. Alright, excuse me, I'm back. I'm looking for a few more items. Okay, this was the original Constitution, for the Americans. It says Section 12, Article 13, Section 12, the organic. The traffic in slaves with Africa is hereby forever prohibited. And also you must consider that if you look it up, they say that we're actually living on the continent of what could be termed as North Africa, northwest of Mexico, Turtle Island. The traffic in slaves, see, it's all in the writing. They tell you everything. The traffic in slaves with Africa is hereby forever prohibited on pain of death and the forfeiture of all rights and property of persons engaged therein, and the descendants of Africans shall not be citizens. And that goes back to what the Vatican was basically stating, that you cannot, and then they put these together. Let me see. Right here, this is from the letter. It has been the policy of the U.S. company to enslave its citizens and to operate as rogue states among the nations of the world, instead of freeing the so-called African Americans. Then you go to this section here, Section 12. The traffic in slaves with Africa is hereby forever prohibited on pain of death and the forfeiture of all rights and property of persons engaged therein, and the descendants of Africans shall not be citizens. So if you put that together, the descendants of Africans shall not be United States corporate slaves, unless you volunteer to do it out of ignorance. See, you don't say that either, but that's what they do through ignorance. So my people are destroyed by lack of knowledge. So because we don't know, we do these things, and then that's how they continue to do what even their boss told them not to do. And then also, when you say that, so do I put the word of the Vatican or Pope Francis' word above anything? No, that's not what I'm doing at all. The Most High said we are free. Not the Most High, the Most High, the one who created all things. He said we're free, but some won't listen until because some believe and worship the Vatican and the Pope. That's why I use this, because he said it, and they'll believe that if he said it. So that's why I use what he says, because they'll believe that if they know he said it. So that's why I do that. I only serve one. That is the Most High, the Creator of all things. Now, Yahuwah, son Yahushua, Hamashiach. And then some get mad if you say that, but then also the rights of American indigenous, the American rights of indigenous people states that because that's part of our heritage, that we believe and we have the right to express our beliefs. That's not a crime. I'll finish up with this one. This is talking about the 1933 bankruptcy of the United States Inc., which is also consistent with why it is not a government. It says 1933 was a year of the major events in America. During this year, constitutional money, gold, became outlawed, and effectively all property in America become mortgaged. And mortgage, as you've seen, was a dead pledge, or mortgage vetum, which means all payments, so-called payments, does not go towards anything except in the pockets of those who who operates in that manner. Basically, it's a gift to them. It talks about the all capital straw man, which the letter from the Vatican was talking about, which was given back to the people. And in reality, he said all estates, legal fixtures have been given back to the people, so they can't hold that against you anymore either. And we are actually the creditors to the U.S. bankruptcy. We are actually the creditors. We are not the debtors. And that's consistent. He said, my people who are called by my name, that's the Most High says, to humble themselves and pray and seek my face. He said he'll heal our land. See, this is actually the Most High's doing. He controls all things. So if we claim what is ours by right, it's no crime to claim what is yours. Although you have, like he done told you the factions that you're dealing with, but he's even put them in check. Not the one that owns them has put them in check. That's that letter from the Vatican. So, just letting you know why I'm a proud American Hebrew, and some would say Hebrew Israelite. And like I said, I'm not a part of any movements because I'm cautious to be a part and jump on bandwagons, because the enemy even will use that to associate you with things that is not what you're about. So I'm not about terrorism. I'm not about hating people. I'm about utilizing the intelligence that the Most High has given me to obtain knowledge and apply that knowledge for not only my good, but the good of the people. So that's all I'm doing. I'm applying knowledge. He said, my people destroyed by lack of knowledge. So he's allowing me to gain knowledge to apply and stand against all wickedness. Even if it's people who say they're Israel or Israelites. Because all Israelites are not Israelites. Some people are planted to destroy the good of the people. So that's all I'll say, and shalom.